Many of our clients immigrate to Canada through investment. In this video, I will tell you which types of investments are eligible to immigrate to Canada. Hello, my name is Rita Benkalti and I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant for North Horizon Immigration. Let's talk about which kind of investments are actually eligible for you and your family to move to Canada, work with your investment, and eventually get permanent residency. The first thing I want to emphasize is that only active investment is eligible for all of our Canadian immigration programs. You will need to actively manage this business throughout the years that you are in Canada, at least until you receive permanent residency. So let's begin by talking about which investments are eligible. The first type of investment would be if you were to purchase a pre-existing Canadian business. This happens to many of my clients. They come to a city that they love and they find that maybe a local coffee shop or a toy store is about to be sold because maybe the previous owner wants to retire, for example. And in these cases, the investor does a due diligence. They analyze the business, and if they find that this business is worth their money, they will purchase the business. Now, this is what we call investing by purchasing a pre-existing business. This would be an eligible type of investment. The second type of investment is if you have a business idea that you think could grow and do very well and be successful here in Canada, that would also work for a program. You would receive an investor work permit in order for you to open your business and start your new business idea in Canada. The third type of investment is when you have a pre-existing business in your home country and you want to open a subsidiary in Canada. So in this case, you would have to open a business here that would either do some sort of transaction with your home country business or simply be engaged in the same type of services or products that it does in your home country, but now they would be happening on the grounds in Canada. A fourth kind of investment is when a person is very interested in partnering with a Canadian business that already exists, but is not going to purchase the entire business. Usually, these are arrangements that are made through joint ventures, whereas the foreigner will come to Canada and start a business entity, and this corporation will have an agreement with the existing Canadian corporation that is actively engaged in some sort of business, and they will create a joint venture agreement for a specific purpose of growth. So now that we've discussed 4 different kinds of eligible investments in Canada, let's talk about the investments that definitely will not give you any kind of preference in our immigration program. The first one that I hear all the time, many of my clients always ask me, Rita, what if I buy a property in Canada? Does this allow me to be in Canada, have a work permit, or eventually have a permanent residency? The answer is no. At the moment, Canada does not have any program made for real estate investment. That means that you can come here and you can purchase a property. You can purchase a property of any price, but you will not have any specific rights based on that property when it comes to immigration. I'm just going to make a parenthesis here and say that many people come to Canada, purchase properties, and they are allowed to be here as visitors. The usual visitor status in Canada is only 6 months, but you are allowed to request extensions. Now, what happens with people who are part of funds? Let's imagine you have a certain amount of money and you are an accredited investor and you want to be a member of an angel or hire some sort of fund that's going to invest in different projects or in other businesses. Would this make you qualify for some sort of immigration programs? The only way that that could happen is if that investment somehow makes you an active participant of whatever it is that that fund is engaging in. So for example, let's imagine that you have a group of people that you know here in Canada who are currently investing in a real estate project, and you want to put some of your money because there's a fund attached to that real estate project and you want to put your money in that fund. And maybe you get your money back 3 years down the road when the buildings are done building. Well, you don't have any sort of participation. You're not engaging in this project. Are you somehow being a financial officer in this project? Are you being some sort of engineer in the project? Because if you're not, then you're not actively participating. It is considered a passive investment, and that way You cannot just request Canadian immigration to get a special work permit or permanent residency based on that investment. And so there you have it. This is probably not covering every single example that exists in the immigration system, but it comes pretty close to what your options are. Just remember, the key element here is that you must be actively participating in the activities of the investment that you're putting here in the Canadian economy. And usually that takes the place as participating in the management of a business. That's usually what it looks like. The other thing that is very important to remember is that these programs do not apply equally and in the same fashion across the board for every country. So what I mean by every country is people who come from different countries who have different citizenship will not have access to the exact same programs. Some countries are able to do any of these programs, but other countries are restricted to 2 or 3 of the programs that I've mentioned. The only way that you can find out is obviously by having an in-depth consultation with someone like myself, a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, or also you can follow my YouTube channel because we will be getting a lot of other videos out where we will speak about these different programs in much more detail. If you're interested in any of the programs mentioned today, feel free to visit our website. There's a lot of information on there, and if you want to have a consultation with me, you can book it directly online.